these ongoing relationships, how important are you to the program to always be, on site in places like this for the program for recruiting?
Well, it's been great. We a lot of friends. Actually, just had one walk me in here, even though he's a Horn Frog. Played there, but was my neighbor in Siena, and so I have a lot of relationships here in Houston. Living here for 4 years, recruiting the city. Previously, I was at Oklahoma, Purdue, and A&M the first time. So, know a lot of people here. Obviously, recruit here, playing our first football game here this year at Energy. So, yeah, it's great for us, great for our fans. A lot of great fans here in town, a lot of good friends. So, coming back here at Houston Touchdown Club, this will be my 8th straight time coming back here, and for what they do for high school football, and particularly in and around the city. It's a big deal for us to raise money to help an organization that does that, but also get back and see a bunch of people, and as you said, kind of stay in touch with our families here.
And what's the biggest thing that jumps out about John Chase after a couple of months working alongside him?
It's John has really done a good job, I think, of building relationships with our kids within the program, not just on the football side, but on a personal side. And I think that has helped the buy-in with our guys quicker. I think his personal relationship with players has been great. I think with the new rules, it's going to be important for us to take advantage of what we do in the summer, which we started June 2nd. We're getting something out of that, but yeah, I just think attitude, new scheme, the whole bit, and maybe simplification, basically. I mean, which is maybe to some people hard to believe, but the simplification and an understanding of what we're doing will allow us to play faster. And he wants to play more guys, so we're looking at playing 20-some guys. Getting 20-some guys ready to play, SEC ready. And I think for the first time since I've been coach at A&M, we looked at our freshman class coming in, and there was not one guy that we're saying, okay, we got to start meeting with this guy and working with him because he's got to start for us to have a chance. And we've got some guys who are capable of starting, and we're going to play. But I don't think there's one guy in this freshman class that we're just saying, hey, right now, you got to put this guy in here and he's got to go. And that's the first time that's ever happened.
With all the high school talent here in Houston, how beneficial can this game be just for recruiting?
It's always beneficial. For us, it's beneficial. But we got guys that make it up to our place in less than an hour in Cypress. So we're down here. It helps us. I think we're going to play. Somebody told me an unusual amount of games in the state of Texas this year. We've got great location where we are in College Station. One of the big things is, we're building when we play the 5th in Energy, which is a stadium that's held a Super Bowl, which means it's a world-class facility. We're going to play Kyle Field, which will be the best facility in college football, and we're also going to play in Arlington, which is also the best facility. So from a selling point to our players, they're going to play in the best venues in all of football, best one in college, and then when we go on the road, we're playing in the SEC. So it's big-time football, and we kick off the year with an Arizona State team that's going to be ranked against a team that's well coached. And like I said before, it seems like just when you move leagues, you get away from playing Ty Graham every year. Now we're back to kicking off the thing. So, he's going to come in here. He's got great roots in the state of Texas, as we all know. There'll be a lot of pride in this game. It'll be national TV deal right off the bat the first week in the football. So, yeah, it's good for our recruits. It's good for recruiting. It's great for exposure. But there's a reason why we play these games, and I think for everything that's at stake right off the bat, it's great for everybody.
You mentioned some of the benefits of playing a big, high-profile game like that, but from a football standpoint, is there some benefit and some downside of starting off with?
Yeah, there's always depends on what kind of team you have, and younger your team is, you like to kind of ease into things, but shoot, since I've been here with the Hurricane game, we've opened with Florida, South Carolina, and now Arizona State. So, we're used to it. As in Houston, we opened with UCLA. So you get your team's attention a lot quicker, I think, because of that. And I think it makes some of the times, particularly here late June, early July in the summer, some of the workouts, you can focus your guys a little bit more, knowing that right off the bat you're going to play a quality opponent. So, and it helps during fall camp too. And certainly that's kind of been the way we've been, whether it was here or the University of Houston, with an opponent like that. We've been down that road before, and there's pluses and minuses to both. But I think you can get a pretty good understanding of where you are. And the other thing too is, in games like that, I think it's important. Just like in all those situations, it's not all or nothing for the first game of the year. Just ask Ohio State. So, how you handle that with your team becomes important too, but it becomes a good measuring stick to see where you are right off the bat.
Coach, you guys started off hot last season, kind of tailed off towards the back end. How do you preach, or how have you preached consistency throughout this offseason so that doesn't happen again?
We've done a lot of research in how we've handled things. We started off hot every year. So how we've handled preseason, that won't change much. How we handle practice during the year, some of the things we're doing from a sports science standpoint, some adjustment of practice situations, what we're doing for recovery, we've changed that up. And that's something that, where our head's not in the sand. We understand where we are. Starting off hadn't been a problem for us, no matter where. It's sometimes we've been inconsistent, sometimes we've been consistent. Gone times where we've won a bunch in a row. Last year with a younger team, I think we lacked some of the leadership that was necessary to carry us through that. But we also lacked some other things, I think, that exposed us in the middle of the year. And so, it's our job as coaches, and my job to really look into that and see where we can improve. I think we've made some adjustments from a conditioning standpoint, how we're going to approach the in-season part of things, and that becomes, like I said, those things get exposed even more playing in the SEC West, and so we have to do a better job of playing more people and getting those guys ready. And so the practice time differs too. So if you're going to play 20 guys, you can't have the ones getting 8 snaps in practice and the twos getting 2 or 3. You've got to manage those practice snaps, and they need to be playing and getting as much practice as the other guys. So there's a lot of things inside of that we're doing. But as far as preaching to the team, that's not what we're doing. We're changing up our routine, and guys know what we expect, and I think they like the direction we're headed.
Coach Terry just mentioned that A&M might have the two best defensive ends in college football, at least that's his plan. Would you agree with that assessment early, and your thoughts on that?
Well, he's been in this league longer than I have. So, if he says that, then he's seen a bunch of pretty good defensive ends. I think our guys are good. And, I don't think there's any doubt that one of them is probably one of the best guys in the country. You lead the league. I mean, you break Clowney's record as a freshman. Jaden Clowney's a pretty good player. So, he's on the right track. And I think Deshaun Hall is a guy that it's hard to believe. You know, he was 213, 217 on his visit. He was another guy that was forced to play early. And you look at him now, and he's, you know, he never redshirted. This is the first real offseason he's had. He's a basketball player. But he's, you know, he's bigger than Miles now. He's all 6'5", 6'6", 260. He's got real twitch. So, yeah, we got a chance with those guys. And Day-Day, as he's called, you know, it's going to be important for him because, you know, protections are going to slide to Miles. He's going to have some one-on-ones, and that's what you want to happen. If he can come along like he did in the spring, then that'll give us the pass rushers that we need. And you know, the development of some other guys that led us to move Julian Obioha inside, who's been starting since he was a freshman. So he's going to help us inside. Lonzo has been starting for the last couple of years inside, so we've got some depth finally in the front that we can roll those guys, and that's what we need this league.
Get out of the quarterback play.
You know, I don't get to go out there and watch them, so I ask the players, and players think both of them are pretty good right now. So our last signee is not in; he's finishing up some work at Blinn, but he'll be here. But Kyler and Kyle are out there, so you know I haven't seen them, but according to our players, they're pretty good. I'm anxious to see it.
Coach, 5 more minutes.
Okay.
Because you've got a huge alumni base here in Houston. Just talk about the importance of not just, obviously you want to put on a good performance just because of your own interest with the team, but just also giving the fans here in Houston something to look forward to.
Yeah, it's, you know, we've got a huge alumni base here. You know, and coming to Houston, making it convenient for them is a big deal. So, you know, our people have done a great job of traveling to games and being really excited about games all over the place. You know, even our opening game in South Carolina last year, we had a lot of fans there. But the convenience of being here in Houston, you know, I'm hoping that it's another home field advantage for us, and I think it will.
More? Kevin, y'all healthy? I mean, from what you've ascertained, everybody back healthy, guys like AJ Yoder,
Yeah.
you expect?
AJ was the last guy that really was to really get out of rehab, physical rehab. So he is in the 240s now, which anybody who saw the South Carolina game, he was playing really, really well, and that was a pretty severe injury to that ankle. So we missed out on him, but you know, you look at our guys right now at linebacker through spring, we're completely different than the team. When you look at the defensive MVP of the bowl games, Terry Lockett, so Josh Walker, AJ Hilliard, those 3 guys can play. And you know, as many lumps as they took last year, those 2 freshmen, you know, they played very, very well at the end of the year, and I look for them to be better this year. So we've got some experienced players. I think last year we looked at it. We started 8 freshmen and 2 redshirt freshmen started last year. So we had 10 freshmen starting for us at some point in time last year, and I don't know that that's going to be the case this year, which makes me sleep a little bit.
You said the players, said the quarterbacks look pretty good. Do you expect that to be a spirited competition through fall camp and so forth leading up to September 5th? I mean, is that something you would look forward to as
Yeah,
well?
I mean, that's, yeah, I was, and, you know, you want that at all positions. Yeah, it's just like we're talking about with these linebackers. And there's another spot where you look at our safety position. You know, you've got 2 young guys who started the bowl game, and Donovan Wilson and Armani. Well, we signed Justin Evans, who is a fabulous player. And we we got a couple freshmen that are coming in here that are very, very confident and want to play. So I think what we've established wherever I've been is that the best players play. And just because you've been out there before doesn't give you the right to just say I'm going to play. And competition is a coach's best friend. So yeah, you guys are going to compete, and it makes everybody better. And I look forward to seeing how these guys handle it in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry about that again. Thanks for hanging in there.